Hey guys, this is Caspi with Ape, and today you join me for episode 15 of Road to Colonisation, and we start by, well, just moving our fuel shuttle. We left it in orbit last time after it helped to fuel up the Canterbury, which is now on its way to Duna, but now we just want to go and dock it to the station, because we don't need it right now. We don't really have any fuel to mine that we really need, so we're just going to leave it on the station so it doesn't run out of life support, and so it can just wait in orbit with these couple of kerbals who probably kind of want to go home. They've been in this tiny little can for a while, but Anyway, so yeah, after a bit of maneuvering in and getting towards the station, here we are. So then we just need to dock and leave it, and leave them in orbit. But they've got a ton of station to hang out in now. They'll be fine. You know, it's a long mission. This isn't some exploration program anymore. No, you do your job for a long time. That's why we're building bigger spaceships. Anyway, now we're launching a new SSTO, the Nighthawk 3, which is using Rapier engines for the first time in my SSTOs, and it's a little bigger, and it is for carrying crew, or rescuing crew, which is what we'll be doing this time. And it's got a little lip down there just to stop the engines breaking off, as you'll see, when it explodes, but I don't think the engines would have exploded anyway, so that little lip to protect them probably was useless. But yes, this is new. It's got a fairly basic design. I mean, it's got the big center bit and the outer tanks. The outer tanks are curved a little bit to make them look a little nicer, although I think it actually looks a little bit janky. But still, basically, what we need to do is go and rescue a couple of crew members, well, not crew members, they're members of other space programs in orbit, because we're running out of crew, really. We've sent another, 5 off to, I think there's 7 people on the mission on the current mission to Duna, with 2 Taurus, so that's 5 crew, and there's still 6 on the Concordia heading back from Duna from the last mission. So we're a little short on kerbals, really. So we've put together this SSTO, which is for carrying up to 6 crew, or bringing 6 crew back, and I put a pilot in there, and we're going to go rescue a couple of kerbals, because we need some more people, and I don't pay for kerbals, because they're really expensive. I mean, Jesus. We're using the 3 Rapier engines. We can get up to ridiculous speeds. We get up to almost 1400 meters per second before we have to switch over, and I only really switch over because we start to burn up, and I'm a little worried it'll explode. But yeah, you can see we're getting up some pretty crazy speeds. I'm a big fan of this SSTO. It's nicer than the last one. It's just rapiers make it so much easier. In the old days, there were no rapiers. You know, back when I started, it was you had to use the ramjets and the liquid fuel Noxidizer engines. Yeah, you kids don't remember. Get off my lawn. Although, actually, I didn't start playing until like 0.19, so I'm a relative newbie, I guess. You can also see that I've gone for static solar panels. Usually I prefer to have the rotating ones, but they look kind of like shit when they put them on the SSTOs, so I decided to kind of cover the spine with these static solar panels. I almost called them SSTOs, I don't know. Anyway, so we're meeting up with the first capsule. Luckily, they're both in low Kerb in orbit, otherwise I would have had to have sent a rocket. I am having trouble speaking. But no, yeah, so it's easy to do with the SSTO. I think SSTOs may take over a lot of the jobs for low Kerb in orbits, except obviously heavy lifting, which is something rockets do best. And my rockets are reusable, so it doesn't really affect anything. It's just nice to have a little difference. It gets a bit monotonous launching a lot of rockets, I have to say. It gets a little bit repetitive. Anyway, now we're just pulling ourselves in close to this capsule. You only really have to get within 2.5 kilometers, and then you can control the Kerbal. But I like to get nice and close so they don't have to fly and things. Or they don't have to, possibly get lost in space, because if they die, then I lose money, and that's not great, because, we care a lot about money. I mean, if the Kerbals die, shit happens. I've lost no Kerbals, though, in... what is it, like 70 episodes now? 55 episodes of Road to Exploration, 15 of this. No Kerbals dead in 70 episodes, and that's actually legitimate. Just no Kerbals have died. I guess I've been playing too long, and my rockets have gotten too reliable. I think we have had some rocket failures, but with probes. Yeah, so this Kerbal's in a capsule labeled Jeb's Aerospace, which is weird, because I sent Jeb to Duna. Oh, and here I figure out that if you right-click and drag, it moves the Kerbal around. Didn't know that was a thing. So that was Jeb's aerospace industry. I think Jeb might be running a business from Duna, which, I mean, he's not allowed to do. He's a federal employee. He can't have conflicts of interest and other investments. This is America, goddammit. Sorry, this is Clotho, goddammit. You can't just... And how is he even doing it? There's a massive time delay. I don't even know. I'm pretty mad at Jeb right now. I might not bring him back. He's certainly not getting on the Eve mission. I'll tell you that much. Anyway, after cutting out most of the maneuvering into this Kerbal, we just get him out of the thing. Luckily, this isn't a Jeb's aerospace industry. But yeah, no, I'm pretty mad at Jeb right now for, running a private business behind my back. It's not great. Anyway, so we rescued both of those Kerbals. Now we just need to bring them back, and then, have a long talk with Jeb. Yeah, I mean, I do control the spaceship, so I don't have to bring him back. No, of course, he's, it's just, he just wanted to make a little money on the side. I guess we'll let it slip, because he's a hero. Anyway, so now we just need to fly back. Hope this doesn't explode. That always can be a problem with SSTOs. The trick is to just do this, kind of raise them at 45 degrees so that they burn off as much velocity as possible before they hit the really thick atmosphere, where it'll start to actually burn up your spacecraft. Although this does get quite hot on the way down, and I was a little worried because I don't want to lose 3 Kerbals. That'd kind of taint my record of no Kerbals lost until Jeb gets back. Yeah, that's not great. Anyway, yeah, but it does look fine. It's re-entering okay. Maybe if I was going into higher orbits, I'd need to put radiators and stuff on it. But yeah, for this it's fine. And we burned off most of our velocity. You can see I'm still pulling up. It's not pulling up as well now because I pumped some fuel forward to keep it stable, but it made it a little too stable. However, we do slow down a little bit short of the KSC, so we're going to fire up those engines while we're still higher in the atmosphere and travel back to the KSC at about 1 kilometer per second, which is the nice thing about having very high thrust engines that operate at high altitudes, is you can travel about 1 kilometer per second. Something, during collaborative warfare we really discovered how to travel the fastest possible, because when you have to fly around Kerbal, bombing people all the time, you want to do it fast. I remember once in collaborative warfare, I had this turbojet powered giant bomber which could only travel about 300 meters per second, and I flew it from above the equator down to the South Pole to bomb Penguin, and that took a really long time. Yeah, Fall of Kerban's a little nicer because it's on a smaller scale. But anyway, enough talking about other series. We're talking about this series, and it looks like we have gotten back to the KSC. We're going to be able to land on that runway, hopefully not die, but of course we won't. This is a fairly controllable plane, although it does roll a little too much, so I did disable some, I think I already did in the video, disabled some of the control surfaces for roll because I forgot to set them up properly. And we're going to deploy those tail planes so that they slow us down like air brakes, land on the runway with the lights on, and brake. And yes, that's 2 more Kerbals added to our roster. They're both pilots, which is kind of annoying because I have quite a few pilots. Anyway, you may remember from a few episodes ago that we launched a thing to go to the Minmus station, but it didn't have enough batteries on it. So it couldn't really go out there without losing power. And we were going to go and put some batteries on it, but we kind of got caught up going to Duna. So now we're going to go do that, so we can go and complete that Minmus station and complete the contract. Although the contract isn't complete until it's full of ore, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. So anyway, we're just launching an Ares 1, one of my old manned capsulables, which just takes 3 Kerbals into orbit. It has a little cargo bay below it. It's a it was the workhorse of our space program for a long time in Road to Exploration. We just ditched the launch escape tower there and push on. Because of course we could launch a Ares 3, the Dragon 2 type thing, but we don't need it because we're only launching 2 Kerbals, and it's not going particularly far. It's just got to reach this thing. We've got to attach some batteries to it with Kerbal attachment system, and then, it should be good to go so that our Minmus operations can, be in full swing. Although, honestly, the station won't help that much. It was mostly just to get the contract, which paid quite well. Anyway, so now we've got to race on into orbit, because that booster is going to start falling pretty quickly, and this doesn't have a particularly high thrust-to-weight ratio second stage, so we might have a problem. This is the Starlight 1 vehicle, of course, the replacement for all of my old smaller rockets, which were actually pretty cool. They used the lots of the shittier engines, basically. But it looks like we might not quite make orbit before the stage deloads. Unloads? Yeah, unloads. So we're going to have to land it very quickly so that we can get back into space and get into orbit. So this is my real-time, not sped up landing, because I needed to land this as quickly as possible. So my idea is that I'm not going to fire anything until about 1 kilometer above the ocean. And then I'm going to max the engine, hopefully pull the parachutes, although I have this problem in KSP where you hit space and it doesn't stage, and then you hit space again and it doesn't stage, and you have to hit it like 5 times, and when you have like 2 seconds, that's not good enough. Anyway, so yes, here at 1 kilometer up, we fired the engine actually more like 700 meters, and we're just slowing down. I'm slamming on the space bar, the parachutes deploy, we fire the engine again, do a bit of a loop, and then land gently on the ocean. My most elegant landing ever. Well, not exactly, but it did land quickly. That was real time. And now we're back in space. We haven't gone on over our over our apoapsis, but we easily get to orbit. So yes, with a little bit of dangerous landing, we managed to, well, secure this mission. We ditched the second stage, which will land later, and deploy the little capsule. This actually only has monopropellant engines. It's very low thrust-to-weight ratio, but it does the job. It's, yeah, pretty good. Supported the Hermes station for a long time. It's also good for bringing up life support and other supplies. It's a really useful spacecraft, actually. In many ways more useful than the Ares 3, but only carries 3 kerbals, so that is obviously its main downfall. But it meant that I never really had to send cargo craft with like life support and monopropellant and things to the station. I could just bring it up in this, and the only like cargo craft I'd have to send would be fueling spacecraft to the Hermes station. But yeah, maybe I imagine a lot of people remember that. A lot of people did watch that series. I've even had some comments of people being like, oh, well, I've got to go back and watch it now. It's like, yep, yeah, you do. You got to watch all 55 episodes because I want to buy a boat. I think a lot of people would have to watch those videos for me to be able to buy a boat. Anyway, but we dock to the tank now. Just get on there, and then we're going to get our engineer out. We only have one engineer. Oh no, we have 2 engineers, but one of them's on the shuttle right now, the fuel shuttle for Minmus. And we grab the batteries and go and attach them. Yeah, it would have been nice if the pilots we saved were engineers, but pilots are always good, you know, you got to fly your spacecraft somehow. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to attach both of these. I think each battery has like 800 units of electric charge, so that'll be more than enough for doing our burns on the dark side of either Minmus or Kerbal without running out of electric charge. So anyway, now we just need to bring this spacecraft back. Bring the kerbals back after their little mission. Probably feeling a little jealous of the people going to Duna. You can actually see I didn't time warp much in this episode, so you can see the Duna and the Duna spacecraft are still actually in the sphere of influence of Kerbal. Anyway, now we just do our Z-orbit, our re-entry, which is, you know, fairly easy in a capsule, and then land in the mountains just behind the KSC. Well, just behind the mountains. It's really dangerous to actually land on the mountains, as I've discovered a few times. And then we land the second stage, which, you know what that looks like. It looks like burning through the atmosphere, but you get to see us touching down on the ocean, because that's the important bit. Anyway, now in orbit with the tank. We're going to go and complete that Minmus station. Just fire up that engine, get heading on to Minmus. It's going to be great. Now, there's actually another design flaw in this craft. The big docking port, which is attached to the second stage, is the one that needs to dock to the station. So this can't actually, the little second stage thing can't actually maneuver it onto the station, which might be a problem, but I think the station can maneuver, so we'll see when we get out there. Anyway, after doing the burn, we also set ourselves up a little plane change maneuver, which we'll just perform here. It doesn't go perfectly, but we, fix it with RCS later, but, that looks tedious to watch, so that's good enough. Anyway, and then we just warp out to Minmus incredibly quickly, because when you hit the warp button, it's like, woof, it goes really fast, and you're like, oh my god! Time warp past a lot of moons in the past, but now you can just hit the button. I'm not sure if that's part of stock KSP or if it's part of Kerbal Alarm Clock, because I always use Kerbal Alarm Clock. But anyway, now we're just going to do our orbital insertion and get ourselves a nice encounter with the station, which we do this thing where we hold we move around a maneuver node so you can see one orbit's time, because sometimes it doesn't show you future intersects, is basically what that solves. But we have arrived at the station, just need to maneuver in now and then leave this hopefully close to one of the docking ports of the Minmus station so that the Minmus station can maneuver in itself, because it does have a few RCS thrusters on it for things like this, really, but not a lot of monopropellant, so we are going to want to get it as close as possible. So we slow down, and this is going to go just below that science lab, which is there because the contract says, not because I need it, because I don't need any more science. I actually haven't completed the tech tree. There's like a couple of nodes left, but I don't really want them, but I will unlock them because might as well. But when we do get science, we actually get paid for it now, because I set up that what are they called? Does it in the administration building you can set up like little things that turn science into money? I don't know. Anyway, the station starts moving by itself, which is worrying. I'm pretty sure it's become sentient, kind of HAL 9000 style, which is a little worrying. But yeah, we'll just give it a giant tank of ore, which actually, when filled, is incredibly heavy and could probably be used like a tungsten missile. So, I mean, maybe it's not great to give the sentient space station that, but I mean, you gotta do stuff, you know. But now we're in the final part of the video, which is with the Canterbury. We're getting ready to do our plane change so that we arrive at Duna in a less precarious situation, hopefully lining up with the Duna resource station, because we need some resources, because we're very low on monopropellant. Because if you remember from the last episode, when you use the high thrust mode on this, you also need to use monopropellant to stop it from flipping out. A bit of a design flaw, but, you know, otherwise, it's not a bad spacecraft. It does look kind of jank with all the stuff on the outside of it. I think I envisioned it slightly differently, but I quite like the Canterbury. It's nice, and it's very functional. It's big and stuff. It takes a while to turn. That was at 4 times time accelerating. At 1 times, it took quite a while to turn it around. The fuel shuttle for Duna will also be doing a plane change, but that'll be next episode, because, you know, why not? So yeah, now we're lined up. Just fire up those nuclear engines, do the little burn to put us on a nice trajectory for Duna, although floating point error obviously will mean that it won't be exactly how we planned it, so we're going to have to make another tweak, which will involve turning the spacecraft again, which is a daunting task. Yeah. So, yeah, we've got 7 kerbals on here, 2 of them tourists, the furthest we've ever taken tourists out to Duna. But yeah, you can see that our trajectory is a little bit off, and we have to do a retrograde burn to fix that. I actually thought it would be prograde, but I guess given the timing we arrive at Duna, because you also got to think about changing where you will be in time and space, because Duna's moving, so I guess slowing down will put us closer to Duna. I don't know, there's too many dimensions in this universe. I think we should just have 2, just a static image, not even time, just, yeah. Anyway, oh, there is madness in my method. Anyway, so now we're just going to pull it in so that we arrive at Duna. But this is the end of the episode. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you'll come back for next episode, because, well, I don't think we'll be arriving at Duna next episode, but probably the episode after. We've got lots of interesting things going on, though. Probably more probes to send, that sort of stuff. But yeah, anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this. If you want to go check out a couple more videos, there is a video I did a couple days ago on my latest episode of Prison Architect, in which, well, like, 76 people die, and I'm now on charges for criminal negligence and might go to prison. I mean, it's not going great, is what I'm saying, but you should go watch it, because it's really fun. There's also my most recent episode of Fighter Jet Showdown, in which we take 7 jets designed by you. Probably not you, but designed by subscribers. And then they fight each other to the death to see who is the best fighter. And it's a lot of fun, because you get to see lots of dogfights. But there's also links to my Twitter, Twitch, and Patreon in the description if you're interested. But as always, I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been Caspi with Tape. I will see you next time.